get the right kind of wife. We don't want you to get these Hittites. Esau married the wrong women, which is probably why Rebekah was also like, let's get Jacob to be blessed and stuff like that, because she's racist. Hey guys, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel and I read the Bible from the very beginning to the very end. We're still just in Genesis. There's a lot of Bible to read. So this is going to go on for a very, very long time, I think. I'm very grateful to all the people who are viewing these videos and commenting and liking and subscribing and everything like that. I'm doing this really for me as a journey for myself to understand what this Bible says. It has been fun so far. Jacob has just screwed Esau out of his birthright by lying, which was his mother's idea. Of course, Rebekah has not gotten in any trouble for that yet. A lot of times, certain characters will do things and there are no consequences for it. There's just a dispassionate telling of what they do. Arbitrarily, God just cares about, the main characters, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, those are his guys. And if someone else gets screwed, even by them acting immorally, we're really not going to hear from God saying, all right, well, let me correct this. But let's move on here. Genesis 28. So Isaac called for Jacob and blessed him and commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman, which the Hittites must actually also be Canaanites, because that's what Rebekah makes her sick to her stomach. Jacob has already been blessed, but of course Isaac is doubling down. He's like, I'm going to bless you. And this is before Jacob runs away like a little coward because he screwed over his brother Esau, and Esau's going to kill him, I think. But let's see what happens. Go at once to Padan Aram, to the house of your mother's father Bethuel. Take a wife for yourself there from among the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May God Almighty bless you and make you fruitful and increase your numbers until you become a community of peoples. May he give you and your descendants the blessing given to Abraham, so that you may take possession of the land where you now live as an alien, the land God gave Abraham. They are going to say this so often just to solidify the fact that if we say it enough times, it's going to be true that we can reasonably come and steal this land. We can kill the people here, we can subjugate them, and we can take their land. And it's because God, in this case Isaac, but God has said it, and now Isaac is reiterating it. But go and get the right kind of wife. We don't want you to get these Hittites. Esau married the wrong women, which is probably why Rebekah was also like, let's get Jacob to be blessed and stuff like that, because she's racist. Then Isaac sent Jacob on his way, and he went to Padan Aram to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, who was the mother of Jacob and Esau. Now Esau learned that Isaac had blessed Jacob and had sent him to Padan Aram to take a wife from there, and that when he blessed him, he commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman, and that Jacob had obeyed his father and mother and had gone to Padan Aram. Esau then realized how displeasing the Canaanite women were to his father Isaac and his mom. So he went to Ishmael and married Mahalath, the sister of Nebaioth, and daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, in addition to the wives he already had. But why would Esau go and marry someone that, she's not a Canaanite. She's like a half-bastard Egyptian white woman type thing. Like, nobody likes Ishmael. Nobody likes that guy. You're doubling down on the disapproval. Why don't you go to Padan Aram and not kill Jacob? I know you want to, fair enough. But marry one of those good people. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. When he reached a certain place, he stopped for the night because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones there, he put it under his head and lay down to sleep. Can you use a rock as a pillow? What I would do is get a bunch of sand, put the sand into a little hill and then rest my head in the sand hill. He had a dream in which he saw a stairway resting on the earth with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. There above it stood the Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. I will give you and your descendants the land on which you are lying. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth, and you will spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. All peoples on earth will be blessed through you and your offspring. Now, it seems like a really nice promise to Jacob, but someone's required to fulfill the promise to Abraham. This is really Abraham's promise continuing. At this point, it doesn't seem that great for Jacob. He's like, can I have my own promise? This is just my dad's old promise. And my grandpa's old promise, I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. I feel like this is becoming so redundant. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. He was afraid and said, how awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he had placed under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. He called that place Bethel, though the city used to be called Luz. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will watch over me on this journey I am taking, and will give me food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return safely to my father's house, then the Lord will be my God. Okay, this is great. So he's making his own choice. And this stone that I have set up as a pillar will be God's house. And of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth. Feels like this is the second mention in the Bible of tithes and offerings, of giving a tenth. And I can't remember where the first mention is. If you can remember, put it in the comments. And it's also, I think, if I'm going to guess right, and where Bethel is this where they're going to build the temple? And this is one of those big moments where Jacob's ladder, that's famous, where angels are ascending and descending. What a beautiful word picture. All the other stuff that's going on here is the same stuff that feels like just making excuses to build their nation. They add to it this ethereal sort of transcendent imagery of angels, and it's so vague that you can just imagine whatever you want it to be, and it's just sort of like a magical moment that you can connect to. But we've already been told all this information. There's nothing new here. The only thing that's new is that Jacob wakes up and anoints a stone with oil. What? Why? How? What's this new thing? We know killing animals and altars and that sort of thing is a thing. And that's the other thing that happens here is just new stuff, new sort of rituals, I suppose, But are they rituals if they're only done once? I don't know if we're going to anoint any more rocks with oil. I'm sure we'll anoint other things with oil. But why aren't we slicing animals in half and laying them out against each other anymore? That was a one-off. That's not quite a ritual. Just something somebody decided to do one time. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode. We'll be back with episode 29. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And here's a thought that you can comment on. Is the Bible somewhat racist? I know I've mentioned that it's racist, Rebecca was racist about the Hittites. But it feels like the consequence for Esau marrying the wrong people is that he doesn't get to be part of the in-group. Like, it has to do with race. Canaanites, is that a race of people? Whatever, but you know what I mean. I don't know. I feel like the Bible might be racist or prejudiced against certain cultures or peoples. So leave a comment. Tell me your thoughts about that. Ring the bell, subscribe, and we certainly will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. God bless.